If you've ever wondered why collectors care so much about Japanese Pokemon booster boxes, it's not just hype. There are a few real structural differences that can affect quality, consistency, price, and the overall collecting experience. This isn't about saying one is better than the other. English and Japanese Pokemon products serve different purposes. The goal here is simply to understand the differences so collectors can make informed decisions about what they're buying. One of the most commonly discussed differences is print quality, and this mainly comes down to where the cards are produced. Japanese Pokemon cards are printed domestically in Japan, while English Pokemon cards are printed across multiple facilities throughout the US. Different printing facilities use different equipment, cutting processes, and quality control tolerances. Because of that, Japanese cards tend to show more consistent centering, cleaner edges, and more uniform color application. Not always, but generally speaking. That doesn't mean English cards are low quality. It simply means consistency can vary more depending on the specific facility a card comes from. Another subtle difference some collectors notice is how the cards feel. Japanese Pokemon cards often feel slightly firmer or smoother compared to some English prints. That again comes down to differences in cardstock, finishing processes, and production standards. It's not something everyone cares about, but for collectors who handle cards frequently or focus on sealed presentation, that tactile difference can matter. For context, I'm a collector and I'm in the early stages of building a small Pokemon store focused on Japanese sealed product, which is why I care about understanding these differences carefully. Another major difference is how packs are structured within a booster box. Japanese booster boxes typically follow a more predictable distribution model, often including guaranteed higher rarity cards within the box. This doesn't mean you know exactly what you'll pull, but it does reduce the chance of opening an entire box without meaningful hits. For many collectors, that makes opening Japanese boxes feel more consistent and less dependent on pure luck. Japanese Pokemon sets are also released earlier and are often structured differently. Many English sets are combinations of Japanese releases along with additional cards. Because of that, Japanese boxes sometimes feel more focused or tightly themed. For some collectors, that design difference is part of the appeal. Price is another factor that's hard to ignore. Japanese Pokemon cards and booster boxes are often cheaper than their English counterparts. That's largely due to higher domestic supply in Japan, earlier release timing, and different demand dynamics between the two markets. The English market tends to place a higher premium on speculation, grading potential, and resale demand, while Japanese pricing is often closer to original release value. For most collectors, the choice comes down to a mix of price, availability, and personal collecting goals. This difference in consistency also comes up when people talk about grading. Many collectors feel Japanese cards have a higher chance of grading well because of centering and age quality tend to be more consistent at the point of production. That doesn't guarantee high grades, and English cards can grade just as well. But it's one reason condition-focused collectors sometimes lean towards Japanese cards. Language also plays a role in the collecting experience. Some collectors enjoy Japanese cards because the focus shifts away from gameplay text and toward artwork, texture, and presentation. For others, not being able to read the card fluently is a downside. Like most things in collecting, it really comes down to personal preference. Japanese booster boxes are a great option if value, print consistency, sealed collecting, compact packaging, or a more predictable opening experience matters for you. On the other hand, if your main focus is English tournament play or collecting specific English releases, Japanese products may not align with your goals, and that's completely valid. One misconception I see a lot is that Japanese cards are automatically better or more valuable. That's not really how it works. In many cases, English Pokemon cards are actually worth more than their Japanese counterparts. That usually comes down to stronger demand in the English-speaking market, higher grading and resale activity, and broader nostalgia-driven interest. That doesn't mean Japanese cards are undervalued or English cards are overpriced. However, in this market that we recently experienced, that tends to not be true. They simply exist in different markets with different demand dynamics. Value ultimately depends on demand, condition, timing, and the specific card, not just the language it's printed in. Understanding that helps avoid disappointment and unrealistic expectations. Understanding these differences helps collectors choose products that actually match what they enjoy about the hobby. If you're interested in more breakdowns like this, including Japanese products, pricing decisions, and how I'm approaching building a Pokemon store, that's the kind of content I plan to keep making. If that sounds useful to you, consider subscribing. It helps the channel grow, and it lets me know this kind of careful educational content is worth continuing. And if you found this helpful, a like helps more people see it. So until the next video, take care of yourselves. Thank you.